So we're on YouTube, we're on Facebook, you're on, give us some
iHeartRadio,
platforms.
Amazon, Google Play, Apple Podcast. You can get us on a whole bunch of different mediums.
And the weirdest thing nowadays is we are known for evidently people binge listening or watching.
Yeah, binge listening.
Really?
We got,
Yeah,
we got an award for being a marathon show, which marathon show means people will like listen to several episodes at one time.
And they're going, I hate you guys the whole
Exactly.
time.
We're wondering who it is. Is it the opposition lawyers?
Oh, yeah.
There really
I feel
is.
like-
They're just like so OCD about it that they can't stop.
I feel like they're
listening.
getting drunk.
They might
Hey man, we have the most wonderful, great Mark Falk with us.
That's
here.
right.
I love
So,
this guy, guys. I love him.
For any of you who don't know this, Mark's been coming on your show. It's got to be
Yeah.
5 years. The first time I worked with him was up at Lake Hefner over a
Yeah.
dozen years ago.
Wow.
And one of the news people came up to me and they're like, we need somebody a little more exciting. I'm like, oh, he's right over
Oh, he's
there.
right over there.
He's a tall guy. Here's the thing.
It's reversed now. You want somebody exciting.
I
it's
may
not.
have, well, 'cause you know the deal is
Anymore.
the kids are grown. I got nothing to lose.
There you go.
There's
man.
nothing to come after me for. I mean, they can try, but God bless them.
Yeah.
So you and I have been working in the jail trust, all this other stuff for years and years and years and years. And so you're running for county commissioner against Jason
Running for
Lowe.
county
And what's the
commissioner.
other guy's name?
Harry Meister,
Harry Meister.
and girl, I don't know her name, but I'm pretty sure she's the Chamber of Commerce candidate because
Mm.
she showed up out of nowhere on the last day of
No
filing.
way.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't even know that, to be
Yeah.
totally honest with you. So
Wow.
so we're doing a town hall in the city of the Village. If you want to go, it'll be at the library. It is on Thursday. We start at 5:30. Generally, we have sound issues there all the time. For some reason, we're both loud enough. It's not going to be a problem. Now, I'm okay if somebody else wants to come and chat and stuff, but we did invite Jason Lowe to come to the Village and talk about all this kind of stuff, and he agreed to go, and then he no-show, no-called on me. And if
Yeah.
you no-show, no-call on me, you are fired.
Yeah.
And Mark had to sit
Yeah.
in for it.
before I was running.
Right, he wasn't
Before you
even
were
running
running.
for it.
But also one of the many reasons I decided to run, because I tell people
What
at the
district is it
doors,
you're running for?
District 1.
District 1.
Goes
Oklahoma
all
County.
the way up here to the village and then goes all the way over to Choctaw. I mean, it's a
The
weird.
primary is June 18th.
June 16th.
June 16th.
And
Yeah.
the race will basically be decided in the primary because it is gerrymandered.
That's correct.
You got a
it's really-
website, all that stuff.
Yes, Mark Falk 4, the number 4, OK.com. So go to that, go to my Facebook page, either one. I have the same Facebook page for the candidate, but my personal one probably gets more play
Right.
these days. I'm on TikTok if you want to hear me be an asshole sometimes. I'm
Yeah.
on there, like yesterday.
But it's valid. Look, I watched it yesterday and I'm like, here we are again. We're 6 years into this stuff down there. There is
Yeah.
7 different chair people. I believe my count is right, and if not, it's 8
Close enough.
of the jail trust.
Jail
And now
trust.
we've got a guy that's a car salesman that is pulling all the same stuff that Kevin Kelvey did 6
Yes.
years ago. So it isn't like we don't know how to handle it.
Yeah.
I wasn't there, so you were the one.
Yeah,
Jason.
I'll give you the shortest version
Yeah.
of what happened yesterday. So the lead into this is that about 2 or 3 months ago, they decided, well, we're going to move public comment back to the end of the meeting. And we argued it
Right.
because it used to be at the beginning.
So you could be part of the discussion.
That's right. At
Yeah.
the beginning, you could go, hey, I'm going to speak to this item that's going to happen later on the agenda. So, and we argued it, and they said, well, if you want to speak to an item, then we can maybe let you go before. So 2 weeks ago, when they had a special meeting to deal with the budget,
Yeah.
we signed up for the item.
Right.
You spoke a minute and a half into the meeting. And
Trying
I
to get
spoke-
rid of me.
and I spoke right afterwards. So
Yeah.
within 5 minutes, we had both spoken. Don't normally, when Steve Buck was the chair, he would say, and they do this at the county commissioners meeting too. Hey, we're getting ready to go into executive session. That can be 10 minutes. That could be 3 hours. You don't know. Let's let the speaker speak.
Yeah.
They've always done that.
Steve's a good guy.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm pretty sure that Holman had done the same thing too. We've never had to wait past an executive session. I thought I was the only one there yesterday, but apparently there's 2 other people because they come back from executive session and they name off, I guess Mark's not here anymore. So we get to the end of the regular meeting, which it basically is. Then they go into executive session to talk about all the lawsuits that we have to pay for. and you have to pass a tax with with the voters in Oklahoma County, not if it's a lawsuit.
Yeah.
It automatically goes on to everyone's property taxes. So this $75 million lawsuit that Scobie has already conceded that we're going to lose,
Yeah.
even though it hadn't gotten to court yet.
His
which
lawyer
is
must like him.
insane,
Right.
which is insane. That goes on your taxes.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
them underfunding the jail creates these lawsuits through deaths and torture and
Just incompetence and there's not enough,
Purposeful incompetence. I mean, there's
Exactly.
there's a multitude of issues, and the problem is you hit one like whack-a-mole,
Yeah.
another one comes out.
Now, you
right,
mentioned something
that's
that I would like to segue into, you're talking about property taxes.
Yeah.
Now, that's a big populism thing going on,
Yes.
especially among Republicans, is we're gonna get rid of property taxes, we're gonna do it at the state level, and I'm like, property taxes is a county
It's a
tax.
county
I
deal
get.
anyway, right?
All right.
I mean, if
So
you don't know
it's
you're being
county tax.
scammed, right?
yeah.
So,
And
so
the-
what's your thoughts on property taxes, since it is the purview of,
Well,
county commissioners?
Pays the
Yeah.
jail.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hey,
well,
schools.
exactly. To me, I've already said this on the campaign. Oh, here, let me finish the other deal quickly.
Go ahead.
So they say, no, you can't speak. We're going to go to an executive session. And I get mad. I go out in the hall and rant and rave and do it.
It was
You
pretty
see
good.
it.
It was
Yeah.
pretty good.
I'm like, I've tried to temper it because I'm running for office, but then I'm like, fuck it, this is who I am, y'all. I can't
Yeah.
fool anybody on that. So I checked this morning, they were in for an hour and a half. So to speak, I already waited an hour and a half.
And
almost
paying
2
parking.
hours, and paying parking. And Melissa, my life partner,
Yes.
as they say, she had to go to the doctor, so she takes an Uber, so
Right.
we're paying all this
So
stuff.
you're out $50 for the
Yeah,
day.
we're out of pocket on all this stuff and we wait for 2 hours and then we don't get to speak. And then he calls me last night and leaves a message, which I'm like, no,
Yeah.
Holman, I'm in executive session right now. I guess you're gonna have to wait
Yeah.
until I'm
Yeah.
It's still going on, by the way, Holman.
So he's been catching some heat because he gave raises to a bunch of employees, and
Yep.
we're all for that.
Yeah.
Everybody's for it because they're underpaid.
Yep.
But if the board says you can't do it, you can't,
You can't do it.
That's why you have a board.
Yeah.
Except that was a setup.
Yeah.
Because Scobie's the one who came up with the idea of we broke, so let's
Right.
not,
Oh,
so he indefinitely gets tabled or postponed them giving raises.
Right.
And if you don't give the raises through the board, you've now created what I keep calling a ticking time bomb, and it is.
Yeah.
People are gonna die. We're underfunded there,
Underfunded.
we're understaffed
Yeah,
grossly.
understaffed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
And they think
They're
they're gonna build
always
a-
understaffed. There's like 4
That's right.
people working a hotel of 1,700.
Yeah, and they think they're gonna build a jail that's gonna have 3 times the capacity, where they're gonna need 3 times the employees they can't afford
Yeah.
the third of anyway.
And a behavioral health center, and we haven't passed another tax, but we're already building a third of a jail
Right.
across town,
Yeah.
which is gonna include the kitchen, which means 1,500 meals have to be bussed over to the jail.
Halfway across the
Every
metro,
day.
every day.
Yeah.
And every person is, because, let's back up and just say what this really is. This whole thing, here's the mission. There's always like a core mission. I was thinking about this morning. Here's the mission. Tear down the jail, build condos,
Right.
get rid of the undesirables downtown. That's
Yeah,
it. That's
it
the whole
is.
mission. That's all it
Pretty
is.
much.
That's always been their
Because
goal.
that's what you got, just to the north and even west of there are a lot of high-end
Oh, yeah.
apartments.
Yep.
And look, they
Across
shouldn't have
the
built a
street.
jail downtown if that's what you're worried about, but they did. And the core of the jail is totally fine. Brian Mon will tell you on record that bombing downtown didn't affect it.
Yeah.
So you've got a parking lot you could build a new kitchen in.
Yeah.
You've got elevators that could be on the outside of the building like a construction
Yeah.
site for employees. All of it's solvable.
The city owns a big part of the property around it. The
Right.
city could give up that
Mhm.
property to the county.
Or they
and-
could build their own jail.
That's right.
There you
One
go,
or the other.
right?
Oh, which is something I've kind of been saying. It's
Yeah.
like if the city has a problem with the jail, and if we can't get the city to reduce the number of arrests, build your own damn jail.
Yeah.
That's
Take
just
care of
that simple.
yourself.
Build your own damn jail.
And then
because-
really, a lot of the problems stop.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
Because statutorily, and they keep saying this in the trust and the county commissioners, no, we're required legally to take everybody. Only if you sign the contract, you're
Well,
only required to
exactly.
take
State.
county and state, not municipal.
Correct.
And the biggest part of those people in that jail are municipal offenders, and 500 a month of them are homeless.
Okay, that's what I wanted to cover
There you
next.
go.
Okay, so for those of you who haven't paid attention until now is when you need to pay attention. So our jail is overfilled with people that are homeless.
Yep.
And so instead of figuring out a way to get them off the street, we are paying rent for them every night and feeding them 3 times a day and providing 100% medical. So if you think we're saving money by doing this, you're full of
Yeah.
the mierda.
I had someone at the doors, a woman, I've had great response to the
Yeah, me
doors,
too.
by the way, phenomenal. And it's not because it's us, it is enough that we've been in the fight. They look at it and go, oh, you have actually fought for this. You're not saying that you're gonna do this. It's the thing I've always said, if you're gonna run for office, don't tell us what you're going to do. Prove to us
Show
that
me what
you've
you've done.
been doing
Yeah.
something.
Right.
And now tell us what you wanna do moving
Right.
forward. But she said, well, my husband, he's always just like, well, why should we pay for homeless people to be housed? And like, let them go to the jail. And I, well, then tell your husband, great, he's paying for that.
Right, it's not free. Nothing is free.
It's statistically
Well,
twice as expensive to have a homeless person on the street than it is to house them.
So-
Which is jail,
Yeah,
hospital,
yeah.
other services.
And they're taking up ambulance, police, all this other
Absolutely.
stuff, just because people don't like the look. And
Yeah.
the thing we all really need to admit is when we drive by homeless people, there's something that it hits inside of us that we don't like the feeling.
Not everybody, but we.
And we drive.
Most,
And you drive on.
I believe
Yeah.
most people.
And you
I
drive
think a
on.
lot of
Yeah.
it is the mental health factor.
Absolutely.
You know, that's what it is. It's
Absolutely.
mental health. A lot of these, because a lot of people, why can't they just get jobs? Why can't they just be productive citizens? I said, you know what? It's really hard to be productive and hold down a job when you have schizophrenia.
Right.
It's really hard to hold down a job and be productive when you have PTSD.
And none of it's being dealt with.
Yeah, none of that's being dealt
Yeah,
with.
and so, on the outside before they go in, you've got street drugs because, you're just trying to.
Because you're self-medicating.
Yeah.
And then that ends up getting you in trouble and you
Yeah.
go in. Look, it isn't that I'm a super soft person. I'm a business person. I look at it and go, well, if it's half the price and it's effective, let's do it.
Let's
That's
do
right.
that.
That's a pragmatic approach to
Yeah.
what needs to be done, and it really is. It's really simple. Now, what they are doing instead, they're doing everything to avoid our whole pitch,
Yeah.
which is why are we not doing things on the front end? Why, to get help, do you have to get arrested, convicted,
Right.
and traumatized in that jail?
Yeah.
And then we
Make
give
your
you
mental health even worse.
Exactly. But the reality of it is that now to achieve at least one of their aims, they kept promising Dale City, we're not gonna dump people out of the jail. We're gonna bust them back downtown, but
They don't have
instead,
the
They
money.
never do that.
they built the intake, or they're building the intake and release center over there.
The
so they-
release center.
Yes, exactly. So they arrest you, they take you to Dell City. They then take you back to the jail where you stay. And all your stuff's over in Dell City in a locker. Meanwhile, your meals are following you over there 3 times a
Logistic
day.
nightmare.
Your laundry is done. That's like,
Yeah.
tell everybody it's like buying a house and at the end you're signing the papers and the realtor says, oh yeah, I forgot to tell you, you're gonna have to cook 15 miles away.
Right,
from
it's
here."
insane.
And your
From a restaurant
your
guy.
laundromat's over there too. You don't get a washer and dryer or a kitchen in their house.
I mean, this is gonna be the most expensive building in Oklahoma.
If they get to build it. I just don't see
I don't
it.
think they
I
will.
don't see it
I
happening.
don't see it happening.
So, okay, we're probably at about 12 minutes.
Oh, I
So-
didn't timer it.
so let's pragmatically go, what brings the jail down population-wise, so it's cheaper for us to operate, because we already own this building.
Let me check the time.
We don't really need a new building.
Sorry,
Whoa!
sorry. Hey man, I'm
That
screwing
would
up
have
the
been
words.
hilarious.
Screwing it up.
So give me some 1, 2, 3s of the pitches at the door, because when people ask me, I go, go ahead.
Okay, I'm doing this at the danger that Jason Lowe might be doing.
Yeah, and he's
the
gonna
same-
steal
Same
it. Yeah, he's
pitch
gonna
next
steal it,
week,
yeah.
If he were hitting doors. But I'm not saying he's not, I'm just saying.
Well, I'm saying he's not.
Yeah, I know. So, at the doors, this is what I tell people.
Okay.
So we really have kind of two choices there. I always open with, hey, I'm with the group that's been battling the jail and the jail trust for the last
I know
6
you.
years. Yeah.
Yeah.
Half the people already know me.
Right.
And even if they don't, they go, oh, I'm sorry. You know, they apologize for us having
Mhm.
to have done
Having to
this.
do it,
Yeah.
right?
And then I say, this is what we advocate for. We advocate for putting resources into alleviating homelessness, and it has to be collaborative, city, county, state. Work
Yeah.
together, none of them collaborate.
No.
To get homeless people off the street and get them the services they need. Mental health facilities to help people before they
Yeah.
get arrested. They don't do that because there's a massive nonprofit system and
Can we just call it an economy?
yeah.
Yeah.
Right, because
yeah.
it's its own economy.
Yeah.
DAs,
Yeah.
low-level misdemeanor defense attorneys, not naming names, but they're making money on it.
Oh,
Yes.
Everybody gets a cut. The jail gets a cut like it's a hotel.
You know who doesn't make money? Us.
Yeah, we pay for everything that they get.
Right.
Yeah.
When you say this person makes money, that's our money.
Yeah, right.
Every time. When you say throw them in jail, $70-something a day, 170 for the first day, that's our money.
That's our money.
So we say do these things, and the counties that have done this across the country have cut their jail population in half.
Yeah, it works.
And then at the end of dealing with these issues, addiction, mental health, and homelessness, and it's easy for me to say because I've been saying like fucking mantra
Yeah.
for 6 years.
Yeah.
Every day. Every
Yeah, we don't
single
even
day.
need rehearsals.
No,
No.
not at all. Do those things, reduce the jail population by half, and then in a couple of years, let's have a rational conversation about do we need to build a smaller jail?
Yeah.
Because if you build a larger jail,
Coming
you are automatically increasing incarceration. And then finally, the alternative is throw 500 homeless people in jail every month.
Right.
Once you do that, everybody's like, oh yeah, that makes sense.
Right.
It's a simple solution,
Yeah.
complicated by massive amounts of graft and money.
So let's look at, I was on city council in the village, you're on city
Yeah.
council, so we sent our prisoners there. We had a holding cell that's about as big as this. We couldn't
Yeah.
hold anybody. And back then it was only $45 a day. And
We
my
can hold
argument,
6.
Yeah.
War Acres
Oh,
holds 6.
yeah,
people.
we're 4. Yeah, we're
Wow.
4 and you're 6. So you have to use them. But I think we're sending them up north anymore. So it's $45 a day is basically rent to put somebody in there, and then the city does pay it. And so now it's up to 70, which is what I told them to do years ago. I go, it's just too cheap.
Yeah.
No hotel can run on this because it's a hotel. Whether you like it or not, you just can't get off.
Yeah.
And you guys, do you still send yours there, or do you send them up to Yukon?
No, they send them to
They'll
Oklahoma
come, yeah.
County.
So-
if we get over full.
So most of the smaller cities in Oklahoma County still do it, but the predominant one is Oklahoma
Yeah,
City.
Actually,
Yeah.
talking with our police chief,
Yeah.
if we can keep them at the municipal site,
Yeah.
we do that.
Right.
The only,
We try
the
to
only
do
way, if it's municipal.
Like overflow
Now, if it's
or
a
something.
state or county,
They
they
gotta go.
have to go.
And legally, they have to go,
Legally,
just
they
so
have to
people
go.
understand the.
Yes.
But if it's municipal, they try to keep them here.
That's right, and that's what the county statutorily has to provide.
Okay.
A jail for state,
Yeah.
county, or federal prisoners.
So
That's it.
let's say you win, which I think you got a legitimate shot.
Yep.
Or everyone wouldn't be afraid of you this time, which they have not been of anyone else. that's
They're
run.
going to great lengths
Right.
to shut me up.
Yeah, and even knocking
crazy.
your signs over and stuff, which is the most petty
Crazy.
thing, which that actually makes people more in your corner.
Yeah.
So you get in, you bring in your own staff, because you know actually most of the people involved, good, bad, or indifferent. We all actually know them by first name. And you get started.
They all know us.
Well, they all know. They're watching this right now,
Yeah.
going, they're all in one place.
They're all in one place.
Yeah.
So I undoubtedly, here's my thought:
They're
is
scheming over
we-
there.
We've tried
talking
middle of the road. We've tried super sweet, nice people, and they eventually turn mean because everybody picks on them for so long.
Or they
I
just-
want or slide out for
Yeah.
money, or you quit your job for money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I want somebody in there that knows the issues, knows the problems, and is willing to take a hit to go get it. Because I've seen him actually tackled at events by people that didn't like him.
I got one
Did
last
not do
thing
that.
I'd like to ask, and it's not as sexy as the
Yeah.
jail or anything else. I'd like to talk about the county when it comes to infrastructure that would be responsible.
Yeah.
And our urban sprawl.
Yeah.
You know, like that's expensive in itself to
Yeah.
maintain.
So aren't
What
we
do you-
starting to look like every other city? You got this great, beautiful stadium with one hotel, and then
Yeah.
you got a
Yeah.
mile of crap.
Yeah.
and then where everybody starts living. And if we know that's what happens everywhere else, we need to.
Do you have any thoughts on infrastructure?
Well, yeah,
Anything
now
else?
the county actually is in charge of outside of the city limits generally.
Okay.
They also
Oh, well,
do,
you
they
know.
also do some projects, usually with the smaller municipalities. They'll do them in conjunction.
Let us use some
Yeah.
gear and stuff.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Which is nice.
Which
Yeah, that's pretty
4 acres is getting a benefit of that too,
Yeah.
some stuff.
Yeah, but to me, the long term comes back to not how much are we spending right now on a jail, what are they trying to screw us with on a tax, which by the way, the tax ain't flying, it's just not selling.
Everybody knows that
The
except the
marijuana
guys
tax-
trying to sell it.
The marijuana tax got shot down in the legislature, it didn't
Yeah.
pass, so that's not even on the.
You know who
table
votes when
anymore.
there are marijuana issues? Marijuana smokers.
Yeah.
And they vote.
And they vote.
That one
They
item.
will vote.
Yeah.
Okay,
So it really just has to do with taking the money that we have, creating a system, which is gonna take time, that is more efficient economically,
Mhm.
and I'm still talking about the jail here and the related issues,
Yeah.
because you can't say
You
jail
can't say
without
county
saying.
without the jail.
That's right,
Yeah.
and you can't say jail without saying mental health,
Mhm.
addiction, and homelessness.
There you go.
Cut that down, then you build a smaller jail, then you actually free up money, which gives you more money to deal not just with those core issues, but with the needs of the county.
And
So
the
we
county
have
and
to
stuff
free
like
up
that.
money.
And then there goes everybody talking about that property tax again, right?
Yeah.
Okay, do me a favor, before we go, does anybody want to talk about the Democratic Party?
No, no, no.
No? Okay.
no,
All right, give
All right.
people your
Yeah,
background,
go,
give
yeah.
people your background in finance, because I don't think, when people see us up there arguing, they know me because I own a pub,
Yeah,
which does not mean I'm qualified to know anything about the jail.
yeah,
But you're actually a finance guy and a finance investigator back in the day, so
yes.
Fill 'em in.
Okay, first I'm gonna name off just where we're doing
Okay.
the town halls. We're doing 4 of them. So Thursday at the Village, on April 30th,
Library.
also Village Library.
Village like
4:30, so April the 30th at the Dell City Library.
Nice.
And this is all on my page, my Facebook page, and my website. May 14th at the Ralph Ellison Library. And then May 21st at the Belle Isle Library. So you have 4 different chances, and we'll talk about overlapping things, but also things specific to each area that we're
Right.
speaking in. And the reason I'm doing this is because the thing I've heard more than anything else is the county commissioners don't communicate with us. I've heard that from the mayor of Dell City, the mayor of Midwest City.
no showed at the village.
Officials
Not
for
just
the
our deal,
village,
but no
yeah,
show- yeah.
that's right. All saying they never include us in the decisions, and that's why it's so important to me that we don't get screwed on our right as citizens to speak at meeting. We will make it the simplest thing ever to speak at a meeting and convenient to you.
Yeah.
You know, this crap of like trying to shut us down.
Yeah.
So my background, I spent over 10 years covering Wall Street fraud. I did and this is on my website on the media page, scroll way down, you'll see a trailer for the actual film, The Wall Street Conspiracy,
Right.
which I was the writer. I was in that one as well, and associate producer for that, and the field director for that one.
the name of the website again, Mark Falk 4.
MarkFalk4OK.com.
Number 4.
Number 4.
Okay.
Okay.
And you can donate there too, right?
Yeah.
To your campaign.
Yes, and
And he needs money.
And
He
that's
needs money.
my-
Everybody
Everything
needs money.
across that whole district
Oh,
one's
good
gotta
Lord.
be expensive, and you gotta do it.
And he's got a gas
got it.
efficient
You
car,
got
it's
it.
still expensive.
If you guys can, give Mark 5, 20, 50.
Right?
We're outworking them. People probably don't know, but I did my own website. I designed my own walk
Nice.
cards. I'm doing all of my own stuff. I have Susan McCann, who's
She's
brilliant,
dynamite.
handling,
I love
putting
her.
together our walk list and all that stuff. And then Melissa has been, I wouldn't run
You
if
get
it
lucky
wasn't
with
for
her.
those
You
2
get lucky
people.
with her.
Those
Yeah.
2 people have been, you know,
Yeah.
and our whole group actually. But yeah, I have 10 years in that. I also have 40 years in construction, and I didn't realize this would be a part of my resume.
I know, isn't that crazy?
But it turns out we have people on county government, our commissioners specifically, who don't know a damn thing about how to, like I used to have to
Wow.
pull this thing called Southwest Dodge. That's where you used to go to pull up the big
Blueprints.
plans and they'd be 100 pages thick.
Yeah.
I can read those. I can do a pick list and
So can he.
bid a
I can, YouTube.
Yeah.
But none of them can. It turns out that's really important because they're making stupid decisions
Yeah.
about financing and budgeting
With hundreds of
based-
millions of
I
dollars.
know.
based on not knowing how to bid a project.
Yeah.
And that's nuts. So it turns out my background actually fits this perfectly more than I would have ever
I'd like to say
realized.
one more thing about your background, and it's like
They're not
it's like
included, we're
I'm sitting here
assholes.
talking to a demigod here to me, because I'm going to tell you, Mark, if it wasn't for your podcast stuff that you've done before we were
Yeah.
doing this, before I was doing across the desk or any of that, you
He's
really
doing his
laid
living
down
room.
the track
Yeah, he's doing his
that
living
we
room.
are running down the road with the Will Rogers
Right.
experiment.
I've been told.
You really are.
I've
That's
been
true.
told that my biggest problem is that I am like a pioneer in these things, and then when it gets popular, I'm like,
When you
well,
move on.
everybody
Right.
did it
Right.
now. What's the
Yeah.
fucking
What's the
point?
point?
Well, honestly, man, if it wasn't for what you did,
Well, thank
this
you.
wouldn't exist.
That's a fact.
You really did lay down the track that our train is rolling on, so
All right.
thank you very much.
1
I
minute to
appreciate that.
close. Jump in there.
Appreciate that. I mean, I think
How are
that
things working?
this is what I want to tell you. We're outworking them.
Yeah.
We have been here for 6 years.
For free.
Yeah.
Specifically at county, dealing with county issues. Nobody else can say that that's running. Nobody. The other people, one of the guys actually told me, hey, I watch your videos on,
Mm-hmm.
and Melissa said, you should actually come to a meeting.
Right.
And that's,
There you go.
We have a group that's educated,
Mhm.
passionate, and uncompromising.
Right.
We will not sell out our soul like so
Or we
many
would have taken the money by now.
Yeah, or they would have paid us to shut up. But here's the thing, this is my one concern, and I hate this part of it, but I do have to raise enough money. We've done decently.
Right.
We're paying as we go along. I do have to raise enough money to do at least 2 mailers in May.
And what do you
sometime
think
in
that
May.
costs? What's your estimate?
I could, if I could raise another 12 grand,
Yeah.
I'm
You
good.
can do it.
And we could beat them with 1/4 of the money of what they're gonna spend
Yeah.
with their, horribly inept, political consultants and all that crap.
Yeah, all they're doing is using AI anymore. Some guy, some 15-year-old in
yeah.
the basement somewhere.
And charging you money for
And
it.
charging money for it.
All right, kid, take us out, buddy.
We're done. Hey, this is the Will Rogers Experiment right here with one of our favorite people, Mark Falk. I'm so glad you came
No,
today.
thank you guys for doing
Man,
this. We appreciate
yeah.
you. You're
Check out his website, donate to his
should.
campaign, and if
'Cause it's
you are in
awesome.
District 1 County of Oklahoma, vote for Mark Falk, especially in the primary and in the general. That's what's going to be important. We'll see you guys.
come and knock doors for us. It's fun.
That's the big one.
Ah, that was my knee.
That's gonna hurt.
That's good.
All right, buddy. Good show.